Tell me if you've been seeing this in your ad accounts lately. One really strong day followed by a terrible day, and the 2 days almost cancel each other out. This is a pattern that I started noticing in the later part of 2024, but it's super apparent now in 2025. I'm seeing it across so many different ad accounts. In today's video, we're gonna discuss the fluctuations in performance and how to best deal with them. I'm gonna share several tips that have been absolute game changers for me to making the bumps less bumpy. I've gone from surviving the roller coaster that is Meta Ads to thriving. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna show you how. All right, you guys, I'm gonna set the stage by showing you guys 3 super common scenarios that I see across ad accounts. I'm also gonna show you some real live ad accounts to really drive my point home. So check this out. So scenario number 1, I call this like worst case scenario, right? So you can see here, let's say, imagine that your break-even return on ad spend was 2x, okay? So here's your break-even, and you can see in this graph, you have some good days and then you have some bad days, right? Good days, bad days. On the good days, you're still below your break-even. So even on the best day, you're losing money. And then on the bad days, you are losing a lot of money. So this is really, really bad. This is unfortunately pretty common though. I tend to see this with ad accounts that are untrained, that are brand new, and with businesses that have poor fundamentals, meaning they have a product that's not in demand, or they have low profit margins, or a low average order value, or a very low conversion rate on their website. So now let me show you an example of what this looks like in a real ad account. So here's an ad account. This is a physical product, right? They have a very low price point, and they have slim margins, and they have a low average order value. So it's 3 things that are kind of working against them, right? So take a look at this. Here is January 23rd, right? 0.6. Their break even is about 1.5. Okay, so 0.6, and they're spending $240 a day. Bad day. 24th. 0.41, lowering spend a bit, bad day. Okay, this is what I would consider a good day in this ad account, 1.27. Still, below our break even by quite a bit, but this is them having a good day, unfortunately. 27th, nothing. 28th, 0.42. 29th, nothing. 30th, nothing. 31st, okay, 5.36. Okay, we have a one-off random day, very, very low spend. We ended up cutting off the ads, and it attributed the ad, the sale later. So it looks better than it really is, okay? So this is an example of the bad scenario. This is what we want to avoid. Now, let's move on to a more common scenario. This is what I most commonly see, right? So again, let's imagine that your break-even return on ad spend is 2x, and you see you have some good days and you have some bad days. The good days, you may see up to 3.5x, 3.5x, 4x ROAS, like it's profitable for you. You see this green area, you're in the green, you're profitable, right? But on the bad days, maybe you dip below your break even and you're no longer profitable. You're losing some money. This is what I was talking about in the intro of the video, where it's like you have a good day and then followed by a bad day that literally just cancels out the good day, right? So, and you can also see that the fluctuations are pretty drastic, kind of a wide range there, okay? This scenario is more common with untrained ad accounts, okay? But this can also happen with businesses with good fundamentals, okay? It's really just a matter of conversion data here. But there's always room for improvement, right? We can always improve our AOV, we can always improve our conversion rate, we can always try new creatives, new offers, so we're gonna talk about how to improve these things. But let me show you in a real ad account what this looks like, okay? So take a look at this ad account. This is again, a physical product. Their break even is around 1.5x. And let's watch the days, okay? So March 13th, 0.9, kind of a bad day, right? 14th, 0.95, another bad day. 15th, 2.96, okay? Decently profitable, and we're spending about $300 a day, $320. Okay, not bad. 16th, 2.36, okay, profitable again at $300 a day spent, not bad. The 17th, $300 spent, 3.56, extremely profitable, really good. We're at the top of that peak now. Now what happens? 18th, 0.64. Okay, this is the pattern that I'm seeing across a lot of accounts in 2025. Okay, now 19th, 0.3, even worse, we're going down. And then today, March 20th, 2.37, we're back to profitability. Okay, so you can see we're in the green zone, we're in the red zone. We're in the green zone. The average, thankfully, let's see, like last 7 days, 1.61. So it's like slightly profitable, not amazing. Last 3 days, 1.52. It's actually going in the wrong direction. So I need to do some optimization in this ad account. But you can see this up and down pattern, right? It's difficult to deal with, but it's possible to fix. Okay, so now let's continue. Next, ideal scenario, right? This is where you can see on good days, we still have a 2x break even, for example. On good days, we are making a lot of money. It's very profitable. And on bad days, on the worst days, we're still profitable. And if you notice, the fluctuations are not as drastic. So it's like, it's not massive swings positively and then down negative. It's kind of just humming along in a pretty predictable nature, right? So this is very common with ad accounts that have a lot of conversion data in them, right? So also with businesses with really good fundamentals, right? A product that's in demand, really good profit margins, right? High conversion rate, good AOV, very important. So this is an ad account where we're spending around $4,000 or $5,000 a day. It's in dirhams, but it's we're spending around 4 or 5K a day. And let's just walk through some of these days here. Let's start on the 16th. Just look at this week, for example. 1.41. Okay, this is a digital product. Their break even is 1. And this ad account is underreporting slightly in its attribution. So a 1.4 is kind of more like a 1.6 in reality in the back end. But either way, we could just take what we see in here. So watch this. 16th, 1.41. 17th, 1.08. Okay, this is what I would consider a bad day in this ad account, but it's still profitable. It's still technically like a 1.1, 1.15. Still making money, even though it's a bad day. Okay, now let's look, 18th. 1.6, very profitable for them, right? And we're talking 4 or 5 grand a day, 60% return. Okay, so it's a lot of money. This is just one of their ad accounts. They have several. So 19th, 1.57, again, beautiful. 20th, 1.41. It's not bad, right? It's still, it's kind of, you see how the ups and downs aren't as dramatic. And then 21st, I think the ad account just reset, so it's still early for this. It doesn't have the data yet. But yeah, you can see my point. It's moving like this instead of like this, right? So let's continue. So let's talk about ways to improve performance on upfront profitability. Okay, how do we smooth out these bumps, right? And I'm really focusing on upfront profitability here because, obviously lifetime customer value is extremely important, but I'm just really focusing on upfront profitability here. How can we be profitable on the first sale in Meta Ads? Okay, so number one, take a look at this, right? We're in this hypothetical scenario, the common scenario you see on the left. Break-even ROAS is 2x. On good days, we're profitable. On bad days, we're losing money. How can we shift this equation, right? How can we move this, either move the fluctuation upwards or shift down our break-even, right? So here's an example where, let's say you lower your costs. You lower your shipping costs or your production costs, and now it's cheaper for you to source and ship a product to a customer. Well, what does that do? That lowers your break-even return on ad spend. So you can see here this blue line went from 2x to now down here. This fluctuation hasn't changed at all, right? It's still fluctuating up and down, still volatile, but you can see the green area here has gotten bigger. So you're actually making, you're staying in the green zone more. You're more profitable on average across over time, right? So you can see lowering your costs lowers your break even, making it easier to stay in the green. So here's one way to do it. Next, improve your creatives, right? You guys hear me talk a lot about sending out customer surveys, speaking to your customer, learning about what your customers watch, what they do, what they like, what their hesitations are, what they don't like, right? Use all that information to your advantage. Use it in your ads, use it in your landing page, right? So if you improve your creatives, you may not be moving your break-even return on ad spend, right? You see here, this is the common scenario. Your break-even is 2x. Here's the improved scenario. Your break-even is still 2x, but now you have improved creatives. You have better ads, right? We've shifted this fluctuation area upwards. So you can see, again, we have a larger green area. So in this case, you don't have to change your costs. That can be difficult for a business owner to negotiate shipping or manufacturing and stuff like that. You can simply just make better ads, right? Or do more market research to make better ads, right? So next, find a new winning angle, right? Maybe you find a new angle that brings you a bigger economic benefit, as some of the traditional copywriters would say, right? There may be an angle that you haven't considered yet that may appeal to more people. It might be more scalable, okay? So consider that. Again, nothing has changed about our break even, right? We're still selling the same product, same break even, but again, we found something that appeals to more people and is giving us a higher return on ad spend for the same money that we're spending on our ads. So that can be another way to shift this equation upwards, okay? Next is increase your average order value. Again, you're earning more revenue for each sale that occurs in your store. So that's invaluable, right? That's going to make your ROAS higher in general, okay? So you can see here, common scenario, we've increased our order value, our average order value by, offering bundles, right? Bundles is a good way, or simply increasing the price of your product. That can increase your average order value, or offering upsells or post-purchase upsells, stuff like that. You have to find a way to increase your average order value. That is going to make it easier for you to make a profit on your first sale, okay? So let's continue. Increase the conversion rate on your store, okay? If you can increase the conversion rate on your store just by 0.5% or 1%, that can make a massive difference in your profitability in your meta ads, right? So again, we're in this scenario, common scenario. We've increased our conversion rate on our store. For the same amount of people that we're driving to the store, more of them are buying. Therefore, we've shifted this fluctuation situation upwards again, and now we are staying in the green. We're profitable on average, right? For those of you that are drop shipping, you can find a new product, or not even only drop shippers. If you're manufacturing products, or if you have a large catalog of products, you may need to find another product that has a higher demand, right? That is in demand, that is more in demand than what you're currently advertising, right? So again, that can drastically change the results of your ads, okay? I used to be someone that was really, really focused on the technical side of meta ads. I still believe it's extremely important, but what I've found is nowadays, with the way that the platform is moving, the product, offer, and creatives are the three biggest levers that you can pull that are going to change the performance of your ads, right? I would say it accounts for like 60 or 70% of your meta ads performance. So you go from a product that doesn't have much demand to one that's very high in demand. It's like night and day difference, okay? If you have a offer that's not that compelling and you go to an offer that's irresistible, again, you can have night and day differences in your ads performance. If you have creative that you didn't do any market research, you're just talking to a generic audience, and then you go to new creative that's you've done thorough market research, you're talking directly to your target audience, and you have a compelling offer, again, that makes a huge difference in your ads. Now, the other 20 or 30% of the ads performance is going to be your technical knowledge in the meta ads platform. How are you setting up these campaigns? How are you moving in the ad account? Are you touching things? Are you closing things? Are you scaling things prematurely? Also extremely important, guys. So I can't discount either of the two. I think both are important. You have to be good at both, okay? So let's continue. Sometimes when things are going bad, simply lowering your ad spend can increase your ROAS, okay? So a lot of times when I have some bad days, if I've had bad days for a long time, I may lower my budget slightly. I use this as a signal to Meta to say, hey, I'm not loving this performance, give me some better performance. And I would say like 50, 60% of the time, this works, and it actually, Meta takes the hint and starts giving me better performance. So it's another little tip. So a temporary fix that you can try is run a promotional. This can flood your ad account with conversion data, right? And sometimes that can get you through the tough periods, right? Sometimes we see, like on a macro level, we have a downturn in performance, and savvy business owners will run a promo during that period just to kind of smooth out that bump, right? So I recommend you try that sometimes. You know, that can get you through the tough times. So those are the tips that I have for you today. Now, lastly, how do we make the fluctuations not as drastic? How do we go from this scenario on the left to this scenario on the right? And it really boils down to getting more purchase conversion data in your ad account, okay? There is a tipping point. If you watch my last video where I talk about untrained ad accounts and seasoned ad accounts, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. There is a tipping point where once your ad account gets a certain amount of conversion data, it just starts behaving differently, guys. So check out that video if you haven't seen it. But yeah, that's everything that I wanted to show you. All right, you guys, that's it for today's video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you're a Meta advertiser that's struggling, I really recommend that you check out my new Meta Ads community. For less than 1 day's worth of Meta ad spend, you'll have an expert in your corner giving you step-by-step guidance. Not only that, you'll be joining a supportive community of fellow advertisers, and you'll also get 50% off one-on-one consulting calls with me. The community is backed by 100% money-back guarantee, and you can cancel anytime. It's currently heavily discounted until September 1st, so if you're interested and this offer is still available, I recommend that you take advantage of it now to lock in the lower price. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you on the inside. Take care, everyone.